But MJF came over and we talked, and he said, man, I thought that, and this, because I think he's super over, and but you kind of think he's a dick, which is great
Well, it's
because
a character. It's
right, but I mean, but you think like there's no way this guy couldn't be a
right.
dick.
It's authentic.
You
Right,
know,
right.
yeah, it's just like nobody, but and I'm sure there's a lot of guys in the locker room because he's getting pushed that'll fucking say yeah, and he's also holding him down. So I mean, he would have been a good click guy, but he came over and said, "Man, I'm a huge fan of yours," and it wasn't like he didn't. I mean, he came out of it. He went out of his way because I didn't know where he was. He went out of his way to come say hi to me, and I had watched him, the last 2 weeks. But the week that I had watched last was when he did like almost a Dean Martin Rat Pack fucking deal where he sang, and I was just like, I'm thinking to myself like, fuck, that's up my alley right there. That's my kind of shit. Like, fuck having the crowd yelling, holy shit, because you put your life on the line. Let me fucking sing a couple bars.
Pick up the martini glass.
Yeah, if you don't like it, how about sucking my fucking cock? So, I don't know. It was a nice moment to.
I had one of those guys come up to me at the Philly convention, and I was just walking through the room, going to talk to Van Dam, and calls me, comes out from behind the table. I'm like, he had a line, and comes over to me, hugs me, and I'm thinking this is somebody I worked with. Maybe I did shows with in the past. It wasn't. He's like, I just want to let you know.
What did you do? Did you do some gummies with him?
I asked him to hardway me. No, he comes up and he's like, I fall asleep to you every night. And, that was to hear another man say that was pretty interesting. He's like, I watch all your old interviews. I fall asleep to every night, man. And nice guy. I don't know who the fuck he was. I don't watch enough. And I was like, you know what? There's no excuse for this right now. I'm somewhat in this industry. I've never considered myself in the wrestling industry, but I'm on the periphery. I'm as much in the wrestling industry as like Bob Costas is in the basketball world, okay, or a Marv Albert. Or something.
The Costas was a good analogy because I don't put that motherfucker with any sport.
He just transcends, right? He's
Casey Kasem. I mean, it's like really, like he's Bob Costas. He gets respect because he's been respected for so long, but at the same time, fucking uncle. I'll tell you what, was Dom, you were at the gimmick where he cut the promo saying I was a mark for him, right?
Bring Dom up on the screen.
Yeah.
Or does he still have his head under the pillow because he's worried about the spoilers?
I was there. I asked him the question.
Well, what did you ask him?
So I said, so I work for ad free shows and I also work for Kevin Nash Click This podcast. And I was like, he's like, Kev, I'm a big fan of Kev. Or he's like, I'm a big fan of Kev. Kev's a big mark for me, and saying all this kind of stuff. And so then after he ripped on me a little bit, he also was like, so I asked him, I was like, so what do you think about what people can kind of learn from your kind of mentality of how you handle yourself, on television and everything like that, and how Kevin Nash kind of handled himself? And so then he kind of was like talking about like how like, everybody airs all their shit out on Twitter and grievances and all that kind of shit and everything like that. And so he kind of went more into detail like that. Kind of kept it. He was in character the whole time, but he kept it.
Yeah, he stays in character.
Yeah, which I love. I think it was great.
So okay, so
when's he coming on? When's he coming on? When did you book him for?
No, I'd like to book him.
I could definitely try to do that.
But I tell you what, one thing that so I watched the go home to the pay-per-view, and they had to go to that 4-way, and so a couple little things for him so he can watch this because nobody else will have had this detail. So he goes out and cuts a promo, and he starts to cut the promo by saying that basically they were there since day one. They didn't have the advantage of having national television someplace else. They were the originals. They built this place. Kind of babyface. And then he said, he caught himself and said, I'll take my ball and go fucking home. I might not, and he said, because you fucking people don't respect me, they booed. He got his heat back. So down comes Darby, and Darby needs to fucking, like, his presence was very. It wasn't like he was given good verbiage, but he didn't deliver it. There was no emphasis. There wasn't like, the character fucking looks cool, but he's no matter how you look at it, he's just not, he's diminutive. He's not a big guy, but he definitely is fearless. So he has that going for him. And it's not like any of the guys in that match are going to be considered big guys. So he kicks him in the fucking balls. Kicks Darby in the balls, and then so then he's cocking now to hit him with that ring.
Mm-hmm.
What is the match about? It's a 4-way for the championship belt. You take the belt off. You snap the fucking belt together. You don't send anybody else. You don't send Sammy until he fucking clocks him with the belt. So he clocks him with the fucking belt. Now here comes Sammy. He rolls out with the belt. As he fucking walks out, he turns around. Here comes Jungle Boy. He swings the Jungle Boy with the belt. Jungle Boy ducks underneath it. He turns around. Jungle Boy kicks him in the stomach, catches the belt. Boom. Hits him, leaves the champ laying, undoes it, lays the belt on him. You get the fucking camera guy to get the beauty shot of the champion laying there with the belt on him. And we're going, the whole time the emphasis is on the belt, the belt, the belt, the belt. At one point, Jungle Boy went over and picked up a fucking face-down world championship title. It was face down. It was a brown piece of leather. It was like not taken care of. And it's a tiny. But if there's no significance to that belt, if it's just a fucking prop, then it makes it that much harder to fucking make that big. He already said he would take it. They just didn't put enough emphasis on what it was, and that was the fact that it's the world title.
Right.
To whereas the exact opposite was done with the new belt and Rollins and AJ.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It was all about that belt, that belt, that belt, that belt, the belt, the belt. Who is fucking worthy of this belt?
All right, Dom, you have your assignment. Get MJF on. Okay.
I can make it happen. The match was good, like that they had.
Yeah.
Good story and everything like that. And
yeah.
they tied a whole lot of stuff in there and made everybody get the highlight, and then MJF got the upper hand and it did his chicanery, so it was good.
No.
Okay.
Good.
Kev, you know what? Before we start this next clip from the Click This show, I want to ask you if you've had Magic Spoon.
Yes, I have.
I think back to my days as a youngster in front of the TV. What are your breakfast memories? What are your breakfast memories when you think back to watching TV, sitting in front of the television? What were you having?
You didn't eat breakfast in front of the television. You sat at the fucking table.
Oh no, I was raised like a wolf in the wild. I did whatever. I roamed the house and I sat down and I ate fucking cereal. Now you're gonna watch horror films and you're gonna have a bowl of cereal until the wee hours of the morning, because Magic Spoon is cereal reinvented. With the variety pack, you get 4 flavors: cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter. Combine them. Take a handful of fucking peanut butter, try it with some cocoa. Oh, My daughter was doing that the other day, and then the milk was unbelievable. They have 13 to 14 grams of protein, 4 to 5 grams of net carbs, and 0 sugar in each serving. You heard that right, 0 grams of sugar. Plus, it's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, and soy-free, for Christ's sakes. Get your hands on this amazing high-protein, 0-sugar cereal. Go to magicspoon.com/Nash. Use the promo code NASH at checkout to get $5 off any order. They're so confident you'll love it that they'll back it with a 100% happiness guarantee. Look at me. I'm happy. Got your cereal. Dom was wearing a tank top, and he's an Italian from Western Pennsylvania. His shoulders were strangely not hairy. I expected a much furrier, like shoulder back action going on Dom.
Well, Scott wasn't Italian.
What's that?
Scott wasn't Italian.
What do you have, furry shoulders?
Fuck, I used to have to fucking
Lawnmower that motherfucker at night?
No, I'd always be at the building. He'd be like, "Hey, Bundy." If you just had the fucking trimmer, and I'd walk over there, bang.
Oh, because Bundy was doing his head?
No, Bundy. He just called me Bundy.
Oh, he called you Bundy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Everybody was Bundy.
Excellent. Earth Dog, the notorious TNS. I think it'd be awesome if Nash showed up, teamed with Sting and the Wolfpack colors at AEW, and go at Kenny Omega and somebody for Wolfpack versus Bullet Club, but it turns into a comedy. The notorious TNS.
Yeah, it would be a fucking comedy, fucking trying to get me to fucking leave my feet. Like watching fucking Benny Hill special.
Play the Benny Hill music when they come to the ring. Good Day says, I'm sure 15 years of... Great. Good Day says, I'm sure 15 years of predictability and scripting have nothing at all to do with the decreased demand for live wrestling shows. Nothing at all.
Yeah, because those 15 years were the only 15 years that have been scripted. So, yeah, you're absolutely fucking spot on.
Well, the predictability, he's got a point there. When was the last time you were surprised by something in wrestling? I was in the 90s. People talk about Russo, but everyone tuned in to see what you were going to get shocked by
I
next.
get so fucking tired of somebody that was a fan in the Attitude Era and says, "Man, it's just not the same." You know, and it's just like, yeah, because you're fucking 58 years old now, motherfucker. It's like, guess what? I guarantee you, if you were to pick up a baseball card and smell it, and it was the card that had the fucking bubblegum stick on it, it wouldn't have the same fucking...
But you don't think you're saying that our nostalgia fades, but you don't think that...
No, I think our nostalgia fucking goes the opposite way. I think nostalgia-wise,
keeps it, and all right. Our expectations fade because of our nostalgia. But
Right.
You don't think the product was superior from a creative standpoint? I'm talking about those years that you had quarter fucking ratings that were reported the next morning, and you were chasing them.
when the only place you could get inside information was a fucking $1.99 800 number. You got to look at the universe.
No one can be swerved today. We'd know about it. You're saying
It's pretty. I mean, we can get probably within fucking $2,000 of what they have for a house right now at the United Center with the first Collision. We could find that information.
you're right. We could. No, nothing's a secret anymore.
Yeah, there's no so like that alone tells you that if you can get worked, it's because if you want to get worked, that's the whole thing. Like when I watch a match, there's a lot of times I'll be like, fuck yeah, like good job, like good pacing on the false finishes. But when you use your finish for a false finish and it's, a rock bottom followed by a Cena fucking gimmick, followed by a rock bottom, followed by. If you do that and you do that 19 times in a row, what made that fucking 23rd time you fucking took the guy's finish the one that,
I get it.
you get knocked the fuck out, you get knocked out.
Yeah, I get it.
So once you put MMA and put that against it, and you're so used to seeing, even on Instagram or on, I'm not a TikTok guy, but you see a guy kick somebody in the shin and their fucking leg does a V. Like, it's kind of fucking hard to watch a guy kick a guy in a pro wrestling match in the side of the head and the guy fucking doesn't even take a bump. You know?
Yeah.
It's very difficult for me to go, all right.
Got it.
So.
Yep.
Okay, so the first match was a championship match, and it was Cole versus our boy. And it started out and it felt like a house show match. And I was kind of like, wow, and then as time went on, false finishes, and I'll be damned, I didn't pay attention, wasn't paying attention, but I knew they were putting time in, and then Cole got his shoulders on it, his 1, 2, and they ring the bell. And I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? Time limit. It was a 30-minute time limit, and I was like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
Like, you got me. Like, that was, and then it was just like, and Cole stands up and said, no, he's actually like, he's because he's tired. He's kneeling, he's on his knees. Well, I can't even know how anybody can sit like that. He was like sitting on his knees, like leaning back. Both my knees came out of the skin. But,
just trying to simulate it right there. I saw.
yeah, just,
nice.
But, he said, 5 more minutes. In fact, he just rolled out like, fuck you. Like, no. And it was just like, that was good TV, I thought. I thought that's the best thing I saw. I knew that Bronson wasn't going to beat Seth on NXT. I knew that wasn't going to happen. But
the Collision show I thought was very watchable. I was pleasantly surprised. There, often
2 hours is huge.
Yes.
The 2 hour the 2 hour commitment. Like, do you have Netflix?
Yeah, I have Netflix. Where do you think I watch Suits? So you're drinking out of a cowbell tonight, I think. Is this
more cowbell?
Yeah,
it's got the
stir thing in there.
Yeah, the gimmick in it. I've got so much. I was saying earlier, because I do TRT, I was actually 3 weeks over for my blood dump. So I had to go get, they have to drain 500 milliliters of blood because TRT, the testosterone replacement therapy, will make your red levels too high. Your red blood count gets high.
Okay.
And it makes you kind of lethargic. I can feel it. And I have a negative blood anyway, which is like motor oil. So when I couldn't get in till 3:00. So, and I wanted to get my full panels done. So I didn't eat after midnight, and I went till 3:00 this afternoon, and I hadn't had anything, no coffee. I had a couple sips of water, and it was like, fuck, man, I gave that blood, and I sat in my car, and in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to go train chest today, go pound chest. I barely scrambled into a Waffle House and had a chicken breast and a couple eggs over easy and some hash browns. I came home and Tamara just looked at me. She goes, "You all right?" I'm like, "Whew." I said, "That was I can't go. I can't go that. I can't go 8 hours without eating."
Well, how long are you supposed to fast?
It
was just because your appointment was so late. If you could go at 8:00 in the morning, you would have been all right.
Yeah, but then I would.
Have to wake up.
Yeah,
He
that's
needs that.
I ain't doing that. Though
We
we
were
do
ta-
like right now we've got. So I walked in here today, and yesterday the cleaning crew was in the condo. So this place is like spotless. Floors, everything, all the mirrors. I mean, there's no dust on the. There's no dust. I mean, it's just completely. The windows have been done, looking out at the ocean. So it's. But I've got my fix-em guy. Actually, Steve was one of the guys that built onto the addition of my house, but he can do anything, and he's kind of going through the house and you know little tiny things like where you've moved something and you've knocked a piece of the crown molding and it's got a big dent in it. Like he's cutting that piece out and matching it, and like everything that's there's a blemish in the house, like your pantry door. It doesn't matter how many times you clean your pantry door with different kind of cleansers, just that, just the wear and tear.
Yeah, it's hand traffic.
Yeah, just so all those doors are taken down and sanded and painted, and just bit by bit the house is slowly coming around. So just to listen to my dog every day at 10 o'clock when he shows up, bark for fucking an hour nonstop. Then again, I'm not going to do a roll a quarter fucking spot during the middle of a Middle East crisis either.
So MJF.
Huh?
So MJF has in the past talked about being the recipient of anti-Semitism as a
Right.
kid, and he specifically said kids throwing quarters. And then this week,
After fucking we get clarification that President Biden has actually seen the pictures of the beheaded children, we decide that this is something that obviously that
is fair game. Well, let me ask you: without the Hamas and Israel, which is white hot right now, it's burning very brightly right now over there.
I would hope so. Jesus, it's about the most horrific thing I've seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, it's definitely been escalated. The decades old tensions have been escalated to unseen.
This is
terrifying.
This is not somebody that has a blind eye to the fucking strife of the 2.199 million Palestinians that are doing absolutely nothing but being bombed,
Caught between this
because they're stuck in a fucking, they're stuck between two checkpoints and 25 miles of fence on each side.
And as trite as wrestling is as a topic, as this is happening in the world, we don't in any way seek to, but we're talking wrestling here while this is going on, and then the angle with the quarters.
But it's still anti-Semitic, and besides probably the trans LGBTQ society, the next is the Jewish, the anti-Semitic hate is rifling. So do we even want to fucking put a match anywhere near something that could? It's like there's fucking heat, and there's cheap heat. You can go to the Humane Society and get a bag of kittens and have them go around the ring, and then round them up in a bag, and then take an aluminum baseball bat and smash them in the middle of fucking the ring. The people will piss and moan and they'll throw up and it'll be heat. I don't think it's the kind of heat you want.
So without the Gaza situation, the roll of quarters with Friedman written on it is still a bad move.
But the thing is, it's like saying, in a world with no hatred, it'd be okay to do the quarter thing. Well, yeah, because it wouldn't mean anything.
Well, it would be pointless to do it then because it wouldn't generate heat.
Exactly, but I'm just saying, we don't live in that world.
But the Sheik waving the flag after the hostages in Iran, and I mean, we know Kaz doesn't hate America. He loves it. No one does the arch like an American woman.
That's a cartoon.
But the tensions were real, and to have him standing in the ring with an Iranian flag, I'm asking you, is there a difference?
Yes.
Versus the quarters with the free.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Hostages. It'd be one thing if they would have sawed off 12 of the hostages' heads prior to taking the rest of them hostage.
I mean, without the Gaza situation, if that had not, well, there's always a Gaza situation, but without the escalation and the terrorist attack this week, if this was 3 weeks ago, would it have been okay to show the quarters with the Friedman name for the heat? Is that not like Kaz with the Iranian flag with the hostages and the Iran-Contra situation? No. Okay.
No, because there wasn't people that wanted to cancel people. I mean, put it this way. The Sheik was doing that while Archie Bunker was calling his neighbors the N-word. I think it's a different. I think we're in a different
world.
Little bit. I mean, a little bit.
Okay.
And if you're not smart enough to fucking, but then again, I'm not a multi-billionaire, nor is my father.
Meaning?
I guess
if you're Tony Khan, a different set of rules, maybe insulated from the real world a little bit. Is that where you're going with that? Or I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but is that what you meant? That a little out of touch with the everyday man?
I never will speak for another man, and I don't know how much of that process. I'm sure it's going to say down here 100%. I would like to get real answers as they look in their rearview mirror today.
MJF, a tweet. When was this? This morning. Okay, so the tweet from MJF says,
I don't blame him.
No, I just want to see his take on it. Muhammad Hassan was portraying an evil Muslim terrorist. I'm actually Jewish. I've actually gone through this. This is my real life, my story. And I look forward to giving catharsis to every single person who's ever been oppressed or bullied. If you think I'd play with that or take it lying down, or worst of all, hide from the hard conversations like a coward, you're on crazy pills. I look forward to the hard conversations this starts and creates. I look forward to people being further educated. My life's work is to stand up to any and all injustices done to people due to something as stupid as being different. To anyone who thinks this can't be done through the avenue of professional wrestling, then it's an indictment on things that have happened in this sport's past. I look forward to bringing this sport into the present. I look forward to knocking Juice Robinson's teeth down his throat. Most of all, I look forward to getting back the Triple B. So...
May I?
Yeah.
I still think that a scripted sports entertainment segment, when you're acting like you're taking on there's no there's never ever any reason to be anything but horrified when any child is being murdered, mutilated, held hostage, any older woman, women being raped, old men being beaten and killed and beheaded. There's just not, why do we?
I don't think he was making reference to the war.
But
in
he's
Palestine.
saying I'm Jewish.
Right.
Okay, that's great. Then if you really want, maybe make reference to the fact that if you didn't put those settlements in Gaza, and if they didn't continue to put those settlements and just take what little they have, maybe this doesn't escalate to this point. I mean, there's always two sides to every story, and it's just now you put, as soon as you put the terror element into it, nobody's going to pick the terrorist side. So now the Jewish rebuttal has to be so PR cleansed, because you can't just go off of hatred to what they've done to your people, to your children, because of all the shit that goes down on a daily basis. Nobody cared that 80% of those Palestinians were sitting in an open-air prison called the Gaza Strip. I mean, people just don't care about that. And it's like, you've just got to, but like I said, you've got the savagery of ISIS. You've got that kind of violent, animalistic hatred. There's nobody that's gonna, like, I'm watching the news today, and I'm watching them drop these bombs, and they're pulling Palestinian children out that look like seals, because they don't have arms and legs. They really don't have anything. They're just kind of, there's these blobs of flesh that they're putting and wrapping in it. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, this is really, this is our world.
It's horrific.
And to sit here and have to fucking talk about wrestling even going anywhere near that when it didn't have to.
No, I don't think MJF was in any way considering that. I think he was just talking about the anti-Semitism toward
No,
him,
but
and that.
he clearly said that the guy was a terrorist that attacked him.
So you think drawing allusions to...
It's fucking Punch and Judy. You can't... If he would have just said, I got bullied, I'm Jewish, left it at that. Because
Right,
that guy that attacked him is not a fucking terrorist.
Right.
I guarantee he's on no fucking terror fucking watches.
Right.
Right? There's your fuck up.
Okay.
Now, how old is he?
How old?
How old is MJ?
I don't know. 30.
Is he 30?
Something. Yeah, sure. Oh, no, 26.
26. Fuck. There you go.
Yeah.
Gets his fucking news on Reddit. I just think it's a bad move. I think it's cheap heat. I wouldn't have touched it in a million fucking years.
Okay. Well done. You know what I would touch? Any old time is...
Oh, hold on. I'd add one thing. And I have Jewish friends.
My best friend's Jewish.
Yeah.
Exactly.